Hello, YouTube. This is Live Love Lockwood, and I am Shamika Lockwood. So, honestly, guys, I have been wanting to do this video for a minute, a testimony video. I've been wanting to do it for a while, but I hardly have any privacy. So I may do it in parts just because it may go long, and I don't want you all to have to watch one long 30-minute video because I know that's hard. So I'm going to try to break it up into parts. I'm hoping I can get all of it done and just do it in different parts, but I'm hoping I can get it done all right now today so I can go ahead and post it. Okay, so let's get started. So first of all, I'm Shamika. I'm from Alabama. I'm the youngest of 4 children. I'm married, and now I have 4 children of my own. My testimony starts out just about basically it starts in childhood. So as a child, hold on, guys. Give me that.
Hello.
Give me the keys.
Mom.
Now y'all go play. Get down. Go play. Go play. Close the door. Thank you guys. Be careful. Okay. So it starts off as childhood. So as a child, as a young child, honestly the only memory I can remember as a child starts off as trauma. And I told my husband that, like, I honestly cannot remember anything else exactly from my childhood, besides just being a child, being in school, being in kindergarten and stuff. That's where I can start my testimony. Kind of starts off when I was a child. So I just remember as I was a child, one day, I can still remember it like it was yesterday. One day I was at my grandma's house, and I don't know why I stayed at home this day. I had to be in kindergarten. I was like 5 or 6. I can't remember, but I know I was like 5 or 6. I was in school, and I was at my grandma's house, and I had stayed. My brother had a baseball game, so everybody had basically left and went to this baseball game or something. And I had stayed at home with a relative, and I'm just going to say stuff like that. I don't have to be specific, but a relative, uncle, and I stayed there with them while everybody else was gone. I don't know if I was sick. I don't know why they didn't take me to the game. All I know, I stayed at home. So anyways, I stayed at home at my grandma's house with this relative while everybody else was gone. And I just remember this relative telling me to sit in their lap, and just told me to sit in their lap, and told me that what they're about to do not tell anybody what they're about to do. And I just remember while I was sitting in their lap, they were like humping me as a child. This was me as a child. And then they made me go to their room at my grandmother's house. And then they made me lay down, and they were rubbing up. They pulled my clothes down and were rubbing up against me. If your children don't listen to this, it may seem kind of graphic, but yeah, I was a child, and so that's the only thing I remember happening. And I just remember them trying to give me candy afterwards or snack or something, and telling me, basically not to tell anybody what they had, because if I told somebody, I was going to get in trouble and stuff like that. So basically, that's how my childhood, that's like the first I can remember as like being a young child. And I'm telling this because all of these things as a child that I may mention had something to do with how I became the woman who I was early on in life, and even who I am now. So anyways, so that happened. So As I got older, I mean, I literally never told anybody else because I didn't even realize really what had happened in that moment. I didn't understand what had happened. I just know it just kind of felt weird, and it was just such an awkward thing. But as a child, I didn't know anything about sex or things like that. So I was not really aware of what even really had happened to me. And I didn't start to know really what had happened until I got older and understood what molestation was and stuff like that. And then I was like, okay, yeah. So anyway, so that happened. And then I just remember even when I first got introduced to pornography, it was as a child. I was in one of my family members' room, and just being nosy, as a child, you're nosy. We had VCRs back then. I'm 30 years old, so we had VCRs as when I was a child. And everybody had tapes and stuff. So I just went and pressed this tape, and I'm like, what in the world is this? What are they doing out here? So like that was how I first got introduced to pornography as a child. And then also as a child, I just remember just always being in a situation where people just wanted to touch on me, like in a sexual way. And I know, like, guys, I hate talking about this. It's a lot, because it was like I was just introduced to that so young. And I remember just always being touched on, and, it was just such a weird childhood. I remember even one time I was at a friend of ours' house for a sleepover, and this girl actually touched on me. That was the first time I ever had a girl touch on me in a way like that. It was very, like, I didn't even know, like, these things that happened to me. Like, I didn't understand back then as a child. Like, nobody had talked to me about not letting people touch me or something like that. So I didn't know any of these things. I didn't know that these things, people weren't supposed to be doing this. I didn't know how to tell somebody about this. So these are just the different things that happened in my life to me sexually, and it created who I was. I just remember growing up, being a very sensitive person. Like, I would cry all the time. I would just be so emotional. As I constantly grew older, I just had really low self-esteem, being darker skinned, I'll be talked about. I never really felt beautiful, to be honest, you guys. Like, when I was a child, I never felt that way. I just never felt good about myself. And, I feel like that's probably why I still suffer with, even to this day, I'm trying to learn to love myself, because I just never felt beautiful, and I never had nobody really telling me I was beautiful as a young black girl. And, so I just didn't know that, so it's crazy. So yeah, so that was that part. So yeah, like I said, I got introduced to that stuff at a very young age, and I just like, so basically the things, it's just people all around, so I'm trying to tell it openly, but I feel like people, I don't know. Anyway, so I felt like, that was my childhood, just sexual things happening to me all the time, and just being a broken person. I feel like as a child, like, I probably had happy moments, but people would call me so sensitive because I literally would cry about everything. And, I don't know, I guess because I just felt so broken, and because of all these things that were going on to me that nobody knew about, like, I just was confused as a child. I didn't know what was going on. I was just like, it was just crazy. So yeah, that was basically my childhood, like my early childhood. And this video is coming to 10 minutes, so I'm gonna get ready to stop this video, and I'm gonna start another one. And I'm gonna try to upload them all though, but I don't want each video to go no longer than 10 minutes. So I'm hoping that I can have just 3 parts to this and then it'll be over. So I'm going to continue the rest of my testimony and, you know, all my testimony. All this, I have to say all this for a reason. So I'm going to continue the rest of it in the next video. So continue to listen.